Remembering. It's interesting because when I think of remembrance, I think of the most recent happenings that have shaped me. And perhaps because of my age, all 21 years, the furthest back I can see is maybe 5 years old. Now, I like to think when I was in kindergarten, we had an assignment to recite our alphabet. And I, of course, already knew my alphabet, and so I was quite resistant. And fortunately, or unfortunately, I spent the afternoon in timeout. Or perhaps another moment when my great-grandmother was very ill, and I went to visit her on one of her last days with us. Now, that doesn't mean that I have every memory stored from then to now, but the memories I do have, I know have shaped me. I know that the moment I refused to recite that alphabet, well, I think it was the first moment I practiced civil disobedience. Or when my great-grandmother passed, it was the first moment I had experienced a death, a life lost that was so close to me. You see, the memories that we have, those are the ones that have had a profound effect on you. Perhaps it is a memory of when you won your first basketball game, or the birth of your first child, or a sadder moment of when a loved one passed. These moments have shaped us. Do they define who we are? I'm not sure. But are they a part of our past and a part of our futures? Certainly, because we cannot and would not be here today without these past happenings in all of our lives. This April I was named a Remembrance Scholar, an honor far greater than I ever imagined achieving, a way in which we remember loved ones lost in tragedy. We are gathered here today to memorialize the lives lost in the bombing of Pan Am Flight 103. 270 victims, of them 35 students traveling with Syracuse University abroad, 11 Lockerbie residents, the memoriam in which I have received the scholarship for. This happening, this memory of a tragic time, has brought us here for a greater purpose than ourselves. We remember the victims of Pan Am Flight 103, not as victims, but as our fathers, daughters, grandsons, friends, and loved ones. We remember the joy they brought to our lives. We remember the strength they gave us in times of great need. We remember. Though we remember for more than just one reason. For some, we remember to grieve. For others, we remember to not forget. And there are some of us who remember to act forward. Remembering is not just a single moment in time or a figure of speech, but an act in which we all engage in thinking of a past moment that has had a profound effect on us. Remembering helps us act forward, to push us, to see the opportunities, the possibilities for change. Without remembering, we would not be able to act forward. Acting forward takes many shapes. When I was named a scholar, I'm not sure if I realized then what acting forward would mean to me. That acting forward would become a part of my legacy at Syracuse University. That acting forward would become a part of my core values in life. For me, acting forward is a process of knowing, a process of educating and sharing. It is a practice that not one moment defines, but many. The many moments that I aim to educate others of the unspoken tragedies of our world, in which I share with them that the stories of the 35 Syracuse University students traveling home for Christmas, or a father that never returned. I share with them that these 270 lives never received justice for more than 10 years after this tragedy. I share with them that the war is not over, that tragedy has not been escaped, and that violence has not been rid. We live in a less peaceful world than I think we wish for. We, as a global people, experience violence daily, where communities are struggling for water, women are escaping terrible circumstances, children are going hungry, and war crimes are all too common. This is not an us versus them conundrum. This is a global social problem that has plagued the very hope that we may have violence, the war, the crime, the terror, all of it cannot match the power of acting forward. If we are all to commit ourselves to acting forward and living the value every day of our lives, we can and will live in a more peaceful world. Acting forward can mean different things for each of us. It may mean that acting forward is sharing your knowledge, or writing a letter to your representatives, or volunteering at an animal shelter, or serving others on a holiday. But at its very core, it means that we are all seeking to live in a more just, more peaceful place. To act forward in the lives of the 270 fathers, mothers, daughters, sons, grandchildren, friends, and loved ones of Pan Am 103 means that we will always remember and always advocate for justice in their memory. That we will not stand for war, violence, tragedy, or terror. That we, as a global people, will stand together. As you leave here today, and we walk to the Remembrance Wall together, I urge you to commit yourself and continue to remember the most profound moments of your lives and act forward in remembrance, in hope for peace.